Good morning, afternoon, evening. Welcome to the Augusta Baker Storytelling Experience, inclusion programming for children of all ages, otherwise known as AB Kids. I am Valerie Birdfort. My pronouns are she, her. I'm an instructor for the School of Information Science at the University of South Carolina. I teach courses in children's literature, school libraries, and library programming, and I am so happy you're here. This series is named in honor of Augusta Braxton Baker, who was the first African-American coordinator of children's services within the New York Public Library system. She worked at New York Public Library for 37 years and then came to South Carolina, where she served as the library school's storyteller in residence for 14 years. We are recording today's session. Make sure you stay on mute unless you have a question or you've been asked to unmute yourself. Leave your camera off or turn it on. It's really up to you. Feel free to participate freely in the chat. And as mentioned, today's program is part of a series. Please visit the AB Kids website to register for future sessions and to explore and register for all Baker programming. We will post the link in the chat. And we are so honored this season to have members of Storytime Solidarity joining us.
Oh, thank you for that. My name is Kate Reynolds. I'm the director and creator of Storytime Solidarity. At Storytime Solidarity, we aim to provide a safe space for all. Our work is to serve all children, regardless of faith, ethnicity, or gender. We are truly honored to work in solidarity to welcome every child and their grown-ups, and we're honored to be a part of the Augusta Baker series. Today's Storytime is brought to you by Heidi Rabinowitz. She is a DEI consultant for us at Storytime Solidarity and a Jewish school synagogue librarian. Today's story times are focusing on Jewish joy, and we could all use some wonderful joy today. So thank you for this Jewish joy story time today, Heidi.
My name is Heidi Rabinowitz, and I'm a children's librarian at a synagogue at Congregation B'nai Israel in Boca Raton, Florida. And I do story time for all the children in our large preschool and our Hebrew school. I'm also a diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant for Storytime Solidarity. And I podcast about Jewish children's books at bookoflifepodcast.com. I'm happy to be here with you today for this AB Kids story time. And I'm Jewish, and I'm here today to bring you a Jewish story time about gratitude, mindfulness, and being together. I'm so glad you could join me today. So let's start with a song about how good it is to be together. This song is in Hebrew, and which is the traditional language of the Jewish people. And the song is called Hine Ma Tov, and it means how good it is to be together. So I'm going to put the words onto the screen so that you can see them. Here we go. Okay, I'll move out of the way. So you can see that these words on the screen, this is the English transliteration of the Hebrew words. Hebrew uses a different alphabet, but I used our English alphabet so that you can see how the words are pronounced. A lot of times in Jewish traditional songs, the same words will be repeated with different tunes, and you're going to hear that in this song. So let's try it. You can sing along with me, or you can clap or sway, or just enjoy the music. Ready? Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet ahim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet ahim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet ahim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet ahim gam yachad. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that song with me. Let me take the words off the screen and we'll go on. All right, awesome. So let's get started here. Maybe some of you are Jewish like me. Let's do a show of hands. Who's Jewish? All right, what else? Who's Christian? Who's Muslim? Who's Hindu? Who's Buddhist? Who's not even religious? If you come from some other religion or tradition that I didn't say, go ahead and name it now. All right, awesome. Maybe you aren't sure what Judaism is. After all, only like 2% of the people in the United States are Jewish, and only 0.2% of people in the whole wide world are Jewish. So maybe you've never even met somebody who's Jewish. You probably guessed from my question, comparing it to Christianity and Islam and everything, that Judaism is a religion. And you're right, but it's not just a religion, and you don't have to be religious to be Jewish. Judaism is also a culture. A culture means the customs and ideas that a group of people share and pass down to their kids. If you aren't Jewish yourself, why would you want to hear Jewish stories? Well, do you have to be Afro-Latino to be a fan of Spider-Man Miles Morales? No. Do you have to be Australian to watch Bluey? Do you have to be a dog, for that matter, to watch Bluey? No, of course not. Everybody can enjoy everybody else's stories. And it's not just fun, it's actually important that we enjoy each other's stories. So there's a very smart professor named Dr. Rudine Sims Bishop, and she came up with this idea about books being like mirrors and windows, and we need to read both kinds of books. When we hear stories about people who are like us, stories that are like looking in the mirror, that makes us feel like we belong, and everybody wants to belong. And when we hear stories about people who are different from us, when we kind of peek through a window to see what life is like for other people, that helps us understand each other better and be kinder to each other. And that just makes the world a better place. So both kinds of books are important. Now, you might know that the United States of America has no official religion. In fact, it's a rule that we can't. It's called the First Amendment of the Constitution says so, and it's called separation of church and state. And that's why public schools and public libraries can't teach you to be religious, and they can't make you do religious rituals. But you are allowed to talk about it and learn about it and read about different religions. Religions and the cultures that go with them are just interesting, and they're part of our world. So knowing about them is a good thing. So let's share a Jewish folktale right now. This is a story about adapting and about being happy with whatever comes. It kind of reminds me of the stories about Pete the cat. You know Pete the cat? I love Pete the cat. Because this story is also about having a good attitude, just like Pete. When Pete steps in strawberries and his shoes turn red, does he cry? Goodness, no! He just goes on singing his song. And in this story, when it seems like something goes wrong, we'll see that it's all good. This story comes from an old Yiddish song called Hab ich mir a Mantel, or I had a little overcoat. Yiddish is a language used by Jewish people back in the old country, like Russia and Poland, in Eastern Europe, where my family came from 100 years ago. So let's get started. This is the story of Mr. Schneider. Once there was a Jewish man named Mr. Schneider. Schneider is the Yiddish word for tailor. You know what a tailor does? A tailor is someone whose job is sewing and making clothes. So Mr. Schneider sewed himself a beautiful overcoat that he loved so much. It was so comfy and cozy. He wore it in the rain. Can you help me make the rain? Psh. He wore it in the snow. Can you shiver? He wore it in the sun. Can you make the bright sun shining? And he wore it everywhere he'd go. He wore it and wore it until it got all worn out. he was a Schneider, a tailor. So he got his scissors and he got his needle and thread and he went snip, snip, snip. Can you get your scissors? Can you do it with me? Snip, snip, snip. Get your thread. He went sew, sew, sew. And out of that overcoat, he made himself a beautiful jacket. Mr. Schneider loved that jacket. It was so comfy and cozy. He wore it in the rain. Can you help me? Psh, and he wore it in the snow. And he wore it in the sun. And everywhere he'd go, he wore it and wore it until it got all worn out. But he was a Schneider, a tailor. So he got his scissors, snip, 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 and he got his needle and thread, sew, sew, sew. And out of that jacket, he made himself a beautiful vest. Look at that vest. So he loved that vest. It was so comfy and cozy. He wore it in the rain. Psh, he wore it in the snow. He wore it in the sun. And everywhere he'd go, he wore it and wore it until it got all worn out. But he was, what? A Schneider. What's that? A tailor, that's right. And he got his scissors, snip, 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 and he got his needle and thread, sew, sew, sew. And out of that vest, he made a wonderful cap to wear on his head. Mr. Schneider loved that cap. It was so comfy and cozy. He wore it in the rain. Psh, he wore it in the snow. He wore it in the sun. And everywhere he'd go, he wore it and wore it until it got all worn out. But he was what? A Schneider. So he got his scissors, snip, 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 and he got his needle and thread, sew, sew, sew. And out of that cap, what do you think he's going to make this time? Out of that cap, he made a beautiful necktie, like that. Oh, he loved that necktie. It was so comfy and cozy. He wore it in the rain, and he wore it in the snow, and he wore it in the sun, and everywhere he'd go, he wore it and wore it until it got all worn out. But he was what? A Schneider. So he got his scissors, snip, 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 and he got his needle and thread, sew, 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 and he turned what was left of that bow tie into a wonderful button. He got his needle and thread and he sewed it onto his shirt. Sew, sew, sew. He loved that button. The button reminded him of all of those wonderful things that came before, and he wore that button all the time. He wore it in the rain, and he wore it in the snow, and he wore it in the sun, and everywhere he'd go, he wore it, and he wore it until one day the button got loose, and it fell right off his shirt. And it got lost. Oh no! Mr. Schneider was so sad. He missed his button that came from his bow tie, that came from his cap, that came from his vest, that came from his jacket, that came from his overcoat. He told his friends all about it. He told them how he used to wear those things in the rain, and he would wear them in the snow, and he would wear them in the sun, and everywhere he'd go. He told them how he went snip, 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 and he went sew, sew, sew. And as he remembered and as he told them, he was happy again, because even though the button was gone, he still had something that made him glad. He still had this story The end. So that story, it helps us see how our attitude affects how we feel. If we can find ways to be mindful and feel gratitude in our everyday lives about something as simple as a button, or the memory of the button and the story of the button, that will help us live a happier life, even when everything's not perfect. There are a lot of book versions of this folktale, and I'm going to share some of those with you in the handout that I've put together, and I'll give you that at the end of our time today. So I would like to teach you a little chant that combines the Indian practice of yoga with the Jewish idea of shalom, and it comes from the folks at Kidding Around Yoga. So do you know the word shalom? It's a Hebrew word, and it means hello, goodbye, and peace. And we're going to use it to mean peace in this little exercise. So go ahead and make yoga hands. Looks like A-OK, because shalom is A-OK. So put out your hands and relax. Let's take a deep breath. Good. Now, we're going to let our thumb give each finger a little tiny high five or a little kiss, and we're going to say, Shalom begins with me, like this. Shalom begins with me. Can you try that with me? Shalom begins with me. Good. All together. We're going to do it regular voice, and then we're going to keep getting softer. So here we go. Take a deep breath first. Shalom begins with me. Now softer. Shalom begins with me. Let's whisper. Shalom begins with me. Now we're going to do it silently. Turn off your voice. Now take your voice and put it into your mind. You're going to say it just inside your own mind. Beautiful. Let's take another deep breath. That was very relaxing. Thank you for doing that with me. So maybe you've heard the phrase Shabbat Shalom. That means have a peaceful Sabbath, because you remember Shalom means peace. But do you know what a Sabbath is? A Sabbath is a day of rest, and many religions have a day of rest. Christians have it on Sunday, Muslims have it on Friday. Judaism has it on Saturday, actually starting Friday night and going till Saturday night. And Judaism actually came up with the idea of a day of rest first. So Jews sort of invented the weekend. You're welcome. And so now I would like to read you a book about the day of rest and how anyone can enjoy it, no matter what religion or culture you come from. And the book is called Shoshi's Shabbat by Karen Yakowitz, illustrated by Kevin Hawkes, and published by Candlewick Press in 2022. So in this story, Shoshi the ox gets the day off. So let's take a look. Here we go. Shoshi's Shabbat. Long ago, on a farm near Jerusalem, there lived a beautiful young ox named Shoshi. For 6 days each week, Shoshi pulled the heavy plow through Farmer Simon's fields, cutting deep furrows in the rocky soil. There's Shoshi. Attached to the plow here is Farmer Simon. On Shabbat, Simon rested, and so did Shoshi. There's Simon taking a break, and Shoshi takes a break too. Every Shabbat, Simon's grandchildren played hide and seek with the little ox. They fed her sweet hay and brought her cool water to drink. It looks like a lovely day off. They play, they rest, they have refreshments. As time passed, Farmer Simon felt the weight of his years. I am too old to guide the plow, he told his family. It's time for me to rest. Shoshi is wondering, uh-oh, what does this mean for me? Simon sold Shoshi to his neighbor, Yohanan, who had recently come to the hills near Jerusalem. Yohanan did not always understand the ways of his Jewish neighbors. Shoshi will help you plow and plant your fields before the winter rains arrive, explained Simon. Simon's grandchildren hugged Shoshi. We will miss you, they whispered. Here's Yohanan buying the ox, and Shoshi says goodbye. The next morning, Yohanan's children gathered around Shoshi. Can we play with the little ox? They begged. No, I have work to do, replied Yohanan as he yoked her to the plow. Together they tilled his fields. Shoshi plowed for 6 days, and Yohanan was pleased. Shoshi meets her new family. They plow for 6 days. But then what? On the 7th day, just as the doves stretched their wings to soar over Jerusalem, Yohanan placed the yoke on Shoshi. She planted her 4 feet on the ground. She bent her head low. She closed her eyes. Nope, not gonna plow. We have fields to plow, Yohanan said firmly. Shoshi did not move. Come, Yohanan urged her. Still, Shoshi did not move. I like the look on her face. Yohanan stared at the little ox. Maybe you are sick, he muttered, removing the yoke, and he led her to her shed. My fields will not get plowed today, he grumbled. Instead, he began to repair an old harness. Yohanan took no notice of the clear autumn sky or the fresh breeze. He's not used to taking a break. The next morning, the new day dawned pink and gold. Yohanan went to Shoshi. She was waiting for him. I guess you are feeling better, he said. At that, she's got the rope in her mouth. She's like ready to go. Together, they plowed his fields, turning the soil row by row. And Yohanan was happy for 6 days. But again, on the 7th day, Shoshi would not budge. This will not do, cried Yohanan, pulling her from the shed. He tried to place the yoke on her, but Shoshi tossed her head to the right. She tossed her head to the left. She stamped her feet. Wow, she really means it. Look at her. You are lazy, Shoshi, Yohanan declared, throwing the yoke to the ground. Soon he felt a gentle breeze on his face. He heard the distant hum of bees among the grapevines and the sweet voices of his children singing silly songs to the little ox. Early the following morning, when dark and dawn are blended so perfectly that the hour has no name, Yohanan awoke and went to Shoshi. There she stood, her ears up and her head stretched eagerly over the shed door. Yohanan scratched his head. I don't understand what's going on, Shoshi, but I'm glad you will plow today. They tilled his field for 6 days. The earth was almost ready for planting. Soon Yohanan would sow barley and winter wheat, but on the 7th day again Shoshi would not budge. You are stubborn, Shoshi, Yohanan cried. Stubborn as an ox. Well, she is an ox. Later that day, Yohanan was walking alone when he noticed a familiar figure in the distance. It was Simon. Johannan waved to Simon. Simon's prayer shawl billowed in the wind as he sailed after his prancing grandchildren. The prayer shawl seemed to lift Simon up over the hills. Shabbat, Johannan thought. Today must be Shabbat, the day when Simon and the other Jewish farmers do not work. Today is also the day when Shoshi will not work, Johannan realized. She works for 6 days, and then she refuses to budge. He shook his head. Could it be? She's only an ignorant beast. And yet... Johannan ran to Shoshi. He stared at the little ox as she napped in the straw. I am a clever man, he thought. She is a simple ox, yet I work 7 days a week, with no day to rest, no day to give thanks. Perhaps Shoshi is the clever one. That afternoon, Johannan's children gave Shoshi sweet hay to eat and cool water to drink, and they played hide and seek with her among the fig trees. Never again did Johannan work on Shabbat, nor did Shoshi, nor did any of Johannan's other animals. Instead, every Shabbat, Johannan strolled with his family in the olive grove. He breathed the sweet air. He listened to the chattering of birds and humming of bees, and he smiled at his children's silly songs. Shoshi gets a rest. Johannan and his family get a rest. Johannan rested. He gave thanks. And so did Shoshi. The end. And if you get a chance to read this book yourself, you'll find that at the back there is a really interesting author's note about how this is based on historical figures. So Shoshi gets the day off, not just the humans, right? And even the farm animals get a day off. All of the farm animals get a day off, not just Shoshi. And the Hebrew Bible teaches that animals should have a day of rest too, especially farm animals who work really hard during the week. Isn't that a nice idea? If you would like to find some more Jewish books about kindness to animals, be sure to check my handout that I'm going to be giving to you later. So I've got a fun song for you about animals on Shabbat. And for this song, I've got some animal friends. I've got some props here. Who do you see? Cute little doggy. And this time we're going to use the word shalom to mean both peace and hello. I got this song from Justin Jude Carroll, and you can find him on YouTube or at justinjudecarroll.com. Link will be in the notes that I give you. So here's how the song goes. As I was walking down the street far away from home, I met a little doggy. So we said Shabbat Shalom, woof, woof, woof. We said Shabbat Shalom, woof, woof, woof. We said Shabbat Shalom. As I was walking down the street far away from home, I met a little froggy. So we said Shabbat Shalom, ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. We said Shabbat Shalom, ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. We said Shabbat Shalom. As I was walking down the street far away from home, I met a little cow and we said Shabbat Shalom, moo, moo, moo. We said Shabbat Shalom, moo, moo, moo. We said Shabbat Shalom. As I was walking down the street far away from home, I met a little birdie and we said Shabbat Shalom, tweet, tweet, tweet. We said Shabbat Shalom, tweet, tweet, tweet. We said Shabbat Shalom. As I was walking down the street far away from home, I met a little fishy and we said Shabbat Shalom, gloob, gloob, gloob. We said Shabbat Shalom, gloob, gloob, gloob. We said Shabbat Shalom. As I was walking down the street far away from home, I met a little horsey and we said Shabbat Shalom, neigh, neigh, neigh. We said Shabbat Shalom, neigh, neigh, neigh. We said Shabbat Shalom. As I was walking down the street far away from home, I met a little Dinosaur. We said Shabbat Shalom. Roar, roar, roar. We said Shabbat Shalom. Roar, roar, roar. We said Shabbat Shalom. Shalom, dinosaur. So actually, we use that to mean hello and goodbye, as well as peace. Have a peaceful Shabbat. Isn't that a cute song? I love that. So Judaism has a lot of special foods associated with it. Some are just treats, some are used in religious ways, some are both, like challah, that eggy braided bread that is used as part of the ceremony that starts Shabbat each week, but it can also be eaten just any time you want, and it's really delicious. It's good by itself, it's good with butter, or it's great made into French toast. You can cut it with a bread knife. Sometimes you can buy it sliced, but it's also really fun to just kind of pull it apart with your hands. You can get it at a bakery. Some grocery stores sell it. I would definitely encourage you to try it. And here is what it looks like. This is challah. You can see it's a braided loaf of bread. And it's kind of puffy and bumpy, kind of like a cloud made out of bread, right? And I've got a cute little story for you about challah. So I'm going to show it to you on my screen because I don't have the book, but I do have the PDF. And this book is called Challah, and it's written and illustrated by Varda Livni, published in 2023 by PJ Publishing. And by the way, PJ Publishing is an imprint of PJ Library, and PJ Library is a program that sends free Jewish books to families, free children's books about Jewish themes. So if you're interested in signing up to get some free books, check out pjlibrary.org. All right, so I'm going to get this on my screen. Now I want to tell you, challah is a Hebrew word, and it uses a sound that we don't really have in English. It's the ch, kind of the throat clearing sound. Ch, challah. Give it a try. Challah. It's kind of fun to say, right? So as I read this book, please help me out and say challah along with Louis the little bunny. All right, so let me get this onto the screen. Share screen. Here we go. Okay. Gonna just get those controls out of my way. Okay, here we go. Challah by Varda Livni. On Friday, Dad said, "It's Shabbat. Can you say Shabbat, Louis?" And Louis said, Challah. It was his first word ever. On Saturday, Mom said, "Look, a cloud." "Louis, can you say cloud?" And Louis said, Challah. On Sunday, Dad said, "Look, Louis, that's a tree." And Louis said, Challah. On Monday, Mom said, "Louis, look, mountains." And Louis said, Challah. On Tuesday, Dad said, "That's a sheep, Louis." And Louis said, Challah. On Wednesday, Mom said, "Look, Louis, a flower." And Louis said, Challah. On Thursday, Mom said, "Look, more flowers." And Louis said, Challah, Challah, Challah. And on Friday, Dad said, "It's Shabbat. Louis, look, Challah." And Louis said, what do you think he said? Shabbat. Oh, he learned a new word. Oh my goodness. The end. So cute, right? Oh my goodness. Well, now I'm a little hungry. I think I have to have a little challah right now. Here it is. I'm going to pull it apart with my hands. It's really fun. There we go. It's really good. You should definitely get some for yourself. This is delicious. Well, If you would like other books about challah, I've got suggestions for you on my handout. All right, so speaking of the suggestions on my handout, there are actually tons of great Jewish books for kids that I would love to share with you, and you don't have to be Jewish to enjoy them. So I will also, at the end of our time, I will put up a slide that shows where you can get that handout, and that will give you so many suggestions. And I will also ask the folks at AB Kids to share it with you. So we've been sitting still for a while, so I would like to wrap up with a little dance. And I want to share with you a song by Jason Meshes called the Shabbos Shake. Shabbos is the Yiddish word for the Sabbath, and Shabbat is the Hebrew word for Sabbath, but they both mean the same thing. Jason writes wonderful songs. Some of them are Jewish, some of them are not. He actually has a secular version of this same song called Do a Little Shake instead of Shabbos Shake. And you can find his music on YouTube or at jasonmeshesmusic.com. So this song, the Shabbos Shake, is great for feeling in touch with your body. It's like mindfulness for your whole body, maybe bodyfulness instead of mindfulness. And I'm going to have a little friend here to help me do this dance because it's kind of hard for me to dance sitting here at the computer. So this little doll was actually knitted for me by Patricia Portillo at Raging Dove Arts to look like the mascot of my podcast. You can see this picture up here. That picture is my mascot, and that was painted for me by the artist and author Sims Tabak. So my podcast, The Book of Life, is about Jewish children's books. I interview authors. I've been doing that since 2005 for a long, long time. So I hope you'll check it out at bookoflifepodcast.com. So my little doll here, he's going to dance with you. And you are welcome to get up out of your chair because this is a pretty energetic dance. And if there's Zoom lag, don't worry about it. Just have fun. So here we go. Let me get the music. And there's actually a music video of this that shows the words, but I'm just going to turn on the music for you so that we can hear it and dance together. Let's see here. Share audio, yep. Share computer audio. And here is the song, the Shabbos Shake.
Look, everyone, I know that Shabbat is a day of rest, but it's also a time to celebrate being Jewish! Yeah! So I hope you're ready to shake a little bit with me. It starts with our hands. I put my hands up way up high, and I put my hands down way down low. And I put my hands up way up, and I put my hands down. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. I put my foot up way up high, and I put my foot down. And I put my foot up, whoa! And I put my foot down. I put my foot down. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. I put my tongue out high, again. And I put my tongue out, again. All tongues in. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. I put my nose up way up high, and I put my nose down. And I put my nose up, and I put my nose down. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 shake. All right, everybody, we gotta put them all together. It starts with our hands. Are you ready? I put my hands up, and I put my hands down. Come on, everyone. And I put my foot up. Keep that balance. And I put my foot down. And I put my tongue out high, and I put my nose up, come on, and I put my nose down. Somebody jump, and we go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up and down and up and down and go. And I do the Shabbos shake, 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 and I do the Shabbos shake, 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 and I do the Shabbos shake, 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 and I do the Shabbos shake. One more time because I do the Shabbos shake, 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 and I do the Shabbos shake, 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 and I do the Shabbos shake, 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 and we all fall down.
Yay! Oh my goodness, that was so much fun. Thank you for doing that with me. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Phew, I'm a little bit out of breath now. So, together today, we have heard some Jewish stories and songs about taking a break, taking time to reconnect with yourself, with your mind, with your body, with your friends and your family, with your animal friends, even with the food that you eat. So I hope that you will take a break to read some more Jewish stories. And let me get you the web address where you can find more stories. So just going to put this up on the screen. Here we go. All right. Here, I'll get out of your way. So tinyurl.com/abkidsheidi is where you can find my handout that's going to give you links to the stuff that we talked about today, to some more books that might be fun for you to read, and also to a whole bunch of great resources about how to find more great Jewish children's books for families, resources for librarians, just fun stuff for everybody, and my podcast, because I hope you're going to listen to that. And if you have any questions, you can email me at bookoflifepodcast@gmail.com. All right. So thank you so much for joining me today. I had a great time. And shalom, everybody. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye. Shalom.
Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It was wonderful and so joyful, and I think just what we all needed.